Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Ganto. In this mini series, we are gonna be looking at the Bishop G5 Najdorf. So I mainly stream chess on Twitch. You can find me on twitch.tv/Dr_Ganto. And since I started playing chess, 1c5 is my way to go against 1e4. I learned chess with 1c5s, and after trying different setups, I am mainly going for the Najdorf, starting with the 6th move, with the 5th move, a6. So, if you haven't played Sicilians or Najdorf, actually this series is intended to be for everyone and also for no one. So I'm not gonna give you as in they chess will say, it is like a lifetime repertoire shenanigans, but it is simply a practical, very practical weapon to fight against Bishop G5. So, in this introduction video, I'm gonna show you the move knight b to d7 and the downside of playing e6. So e6 is by far the main continuation historically, and also in online chess it has been considered as the main move. And the reason why we are opting for knight b to d7 is after e6, white gets all the fun in the bloody wooden piece game. What do I mean with all the fun? Because, you know, if you're choosing an opening, I think the priority should be to enjoy playing it. I mean, the fun perspective is for me the utmost important. I'm not gonna bother with you some details, but let's see why we are choosing knight b to d7 over e6. So if we continue with e6, now white's typical response is f4, which is by far the main move, and the point being is they want to bring the queen to f3 and quickly finish the development with long castling. So after f4, I think there are basically like 4 or 5 moves, and one of them is bishop e7, the other one is knight b to d7, and the most famous one is queen b6, going for the poison pawn variation, which is not for everyone's taste. I mean, I don't enjoy pawn grabbing because not my cup of tea, let's put it that way. But let's see how the game might enter into those sharp territories going for queen b6. White either sacrifices that pawn, or they can defend with like knight b3, but queen d2 is like, okay, but let's have a game, you know. And we have to go for pawn grabbing, otherwise our queen b6 move wouldn't make any sense. So after we take, white goes rook b1, develops with a tempo, only square for the queen, a3. And now white can go for e5 or f5, simply blow up the center when our pieces are stuck in the initial position. We have only developed the knight. Let's quickly see how the game might develop after e5. Now black can play h6 or d takes e5. After h6, black retreats, we take, knight b to d7, knight e4, and this is no bueno. No bueno, ladies and gentlemen, to play this position. It is like absolutely a little bit sadistic to play this. I mean, we don't want to go for that. Or if we immediately take, I mean, we have to play some like literally only moves, and white is getting all the fun out of play. This is absolutely disgusting. We don't want to go for it. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Dutch superstar Aniski recommends in his chessable course, although I don't own his course. So this queen b6. Okay, let's see what happens if black starts with bishop e7. You know, if they take, we're gonna recapture with the bishop. Now still queen f3, and now we can play knight b to d7, a6, queen c7. Those are the top 3 moves. After a6, black retreats, and knight b to d7, white long castles, queen c7, always a useful square for the queen. And we gotta get our counterplay going with b5, maybe in the future bishop b7, b4. White can simply take. The point being is becoming obvious after e5, our rook is hanging. And after bishop b7, queen g3, there's a great pressure on our pawn, our knight is under attack. And we have to go into some crazy territories, which happened lots of times in the history of chess. White is starting throwing all of their pieces into our territory, and good luck defending that. I don't enjoy this. So what happens after e6? We play knight b to d7, you know, the move that I recommend before e6. After we play knight b to d7, but still going for the same setup. Queen c7, white castles long, and b5. But if we also try to finish our development and put our king into safety with bishop e7 and g4, h4, white is attack coming really fast, so we gotta act immediately. Bishop b with the move b5. And now another time, this typical response e5, our rook is hanging. And even white can start with this move and then e5. Simply they sack the knights. And bishop b7, we attack the queen. Now our e6 pawn is in shambles. We can't guard it, you know. Like king f7, goodness gracious me. Take, bishop e7, and now white starts throwing pieces on the defended b5 pawn, which is disgusting to face. Bishop takes b5, a takes b5, what to do? Knight takes b5. Now Tchaikovsky, there's a pin. We can't go here, checkmate. This is absolutely also not playable. I mean, if someone is enjoying playing this position, I respect you, but this is a little bit sadistic. We have to go king c7. No, thank you, we say, and let's move on. But okay, let's say white procrastinate sacking, but here another time you have to play some only moves to keep the game balanced. So having said these, ladies and gentlemen, we are going for our setup, starting with knight b to d7, no e6. By the way, e6 has been played in the history of chess, I think, more than like 75%. So our move is knight b to d7. So this move is aimed against its f4, queen f3 long castle setups, and it has a great score, honestly, if white goes for the setup that I have just mentioned. But there are other ways to challenge this setup, and if white is knowledgeable, they should now change the direction of the game. And for me, the most challenging move after knight b to d7 is bishop c4. There are some other moves like queen e2, it's also, or queen d2, a4, which I will be discussing in my last video. After knight b to d7, let's say white is aiming for this f4 queen f3 setup. We play queen c7. See, we are not playing e6. And now queen f3. So this is our initial position. And the move that we will be playing exclusively is h6. In the next video, we are gonna be seeing what happens after bishop takes f6. And after bishop retreats, this is where we are starting to getting the fun of the game. We are sacrificing a pawn with g5. What is the point of the sacrifice? Well, if white takes, we are getting our e5 square so that we can sit p on that square like forever. That's the whole point. I mean, you can also play with something like b4, which might transpose into those e6 territories, which we don't like to see. And after a6, this move scores also in the history of OTB and also the lovely online chess wall for black. Alright, so that was my quick introduction, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next videos. Bye bye.